In house music, you can find amazing tracks with complex chord progressions like this one. But you can also have some real bangers with simple chord progressions like this one. But no matter if the chord progressions are simple or complex, in house music there are usually some interesting principles going on which make them work. Let's break down some of those in this video, starting with something basic and getting more and more advanced towards the end. So for this video, I picked 4 chord progressions which we're going to break down. But something that all of these progressions have in common is that they pretty quickly leave your normal diatonic scale and rather follow certain shapes and patterns which are typical for house music. Let's just check out this first example I have right here. I actually saw this in a video on Instagram. Really simple, but still really nice 2-chord progression, right? Let's just check it out one more time. We're starting out like this. And after some rhythm, going into this and back. And this could just loop forever, basically, but let's break it down a little bit. So we're starting out here. Our root note is the A flat, and then we have an inversion of an A flat major 7 on top, right? So this would be our normal A flat major 7. We're bringing these 2 notes down to create this nice voicing. So that's our starting point. We might think, okay, we are in A flat major, but then we're jumping to this. If we just look at the right hand real quick, we're technically just transposing this up by 3 semitones. So in the right hand now we have a B major 7. Already with this you might be thinking, okay, I'm pitching around a chord, so what scale am I in? But since the bass is actually staying on the A flat, this becomes an A flat minor 9. If we bring these notes down, we get this. So the root note basically stays the same. We're staying on an A flat, but switching between a major 7 and a minor 9. And there's no scale where it makes sense to do this that much. It makes much more sense to just recognize this typical pattern that in house music you often switch between major and minor, staying on the same root note. So this would be our major 7, the minor 9. We're switching between these 2, which is a cool sound and especially nice if you have this voicing. So for me, obviously it makes sense to think in scales. If we have our root note and the 4 and the 5, you can do a lot with that. But the rest is usually pretty up for grabs in house music. And you rather follow certain patterns. And the first one here was switching between major and minor. But that was just a really simple 2-chord progression. Let's maybe turn things up a notch and check out a progression with 3 chords in it. For that, I want to show you an example track of a guy called Wiggy. He actually sent me his tune on Instagram because he used one of the chord progressions from my second pack and turned it into a really nice track. So let's check it out. Show Me How to Dance by Wiggy. Nice stuff. It's a really cool bass line. All right, really, really nicely done. Make sure that over to his SoundCloud and show some love. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. But let's now check out this progression, which goes like this. So these 3 chords looping over and over again. What he really nicely did in his track, he kind of chopped it up and created some rhythm with it. And it sounded like this. Really cool. So let's see what we have in here, right? We're starting out with a G minor 7 or an inversion of that. Once again, this F is usually up here, but we bring it down an octave to create this voicing. So you might be thinking, okay, maybe we are in G minor. Let's see the next chord. We have an A minor 9, right? So we kind of in the right hand have an inversion of a C major 7. If we bring down these 2 by an octave, you can see, okay, we have a C major and then the A in the bass makes this form an A minor 9. But if you're thinking in G minor or in the scale of G minor, let's check that out. Then we don't have an E and also not a B, which is in our A minor 9. So you now might be thinking, okay, maybe we are on a different scale, or we have to borrow some notes from different modes and stuff like that. There are many nice and complicated ways to look at this. But let's maybe first check out the next chord that we have. So once again, this is an inversion of a C minor 7. We're kind of playing the 7 of that in the bass. Then we have this inversion here, right? So this would be the normal shape. So in the right hand, we're going from a C major 7 to a C minor 7, which is a shape that we've already gotten familiar with, right? That's something that happens in house music all the time. So we're just going from the G minor 7 to our A minor 9 to the C minor 7, which if you think of the right hand, C major 7, C minor 7, going into G. And these kind of patterns and shapes, once you remember them or like kind of get familiar with them, you can just use them for something. A minor 9 chord, for example, after a minor 7th chord is nothing out of this world. It's just once you try to put it into a specific scale, it gets a bit complicated. But something that I do think is worth looking into is usually dominant chords in house music because they play a specific role. Let's say we do think in the scale of G minor, then our 5 chord, our dominant chord would be D, because that's the 5 of G. So dominant chord has just a major triad and then a minor 7. That would be this. And then very often you kind of just add this up here, which is the flat 9. If you have this up top, which is a diminished 7, a major third above the 5 that you're playing, that's a really nice dominant chord, right? So from this, let's just try that out. We can go really nicely back to our G. If we now look at the inversion of our C minor 7, we kind of have 2 notes in here, which also form part of that diminished chord, which we talked about, especially the 2 top notes here are these 2. And we're using these 2 top notes to go from our C minor 7 into our G minor 7. And that's why we kind of get this somewhat partial resolution because they share these notes with the dominant chord. So it's not actually a dominant chord, but it kind of plays a role like this. All right. So if we were now to say, okay, maybe we can once just play our C minor 7 with this one at the bottom, and then maybe the next round play this to just create a little variation. Let's check that out. Both of them work pretty nicely, right? They're somewhat similar in a way. Let's maybe try to play them with a bit of rhythm. Something I did here in the bass line is this little chromatic walk up. And that's another sign for me, or like something that happens all the time in music, which if you think in a specific scale, you couldn't even do this, right? So if you use a scale tool or something like that, it's not going to allow you to play this note. But we do use notes as passing notes to get to another point. And the same thing also happens with chords. Sometimes you can just think of a chord as a step to get somewhere else. And just because you're home at G doesn't mean that you don't have all these other options to bring in other chords and they just work for some reason. But talking about these dominant chords, from trying out different things, I then sometimes just like to move a certain note. So let's say, okay, we have this. What happens if we, for example, move this up by 1? Also works into G, right? So we have this or this, which is cool. And then lastly, this shape, if I had to try to give it a name, I'd probably say it's a D7 sharp 5 sharp 9 or something like that. Let me know in the comments if that's correct or completely wrong. But basically, yeah, this shape is also really nice to go home. Since this voicing is relatively popular in house music, it's also going to be part of the next chord progression we're going to take a look at, which comes from a track by German house legend Mousse. Once again, a really nice chord progression, which goes more or less like this. We had a 2-chord progression, we had a 3-chord progression, now we have a 4-chord progression. As I said, we're kind of getting more and more complex over time. Let's go right ahead and break it down. We're once again kind of circling around the chord of G. So we're starting out just with a normal G minor 7 in the right hand, but in the bass, we're we're playing this E flat, which technically makes this E flat major 9. And then we're moving from this D, where we're playing this chord that we learned about before, this kind of altered dominant D chord, to go back to our G. And then the last chord is a special chord, kind of, which I'm going to make an extra video about, really gospel-y, right? Kind of a turnaround here. G over A, which is like the sus sound, right? But you can just add this up top. Because otherwise you kind of feel like you need this cliche resolution to your D, which we don't want here. Like I said, special video just on this chord. But once again, to round this up, we always had this movement of switching between major and minor, right? So technically, if you check out the right hand, we're going from a G major 7 back to our G minor 7. So it's still kind of smooth and cool. Let's see it one more time. Maybe you have to hear it a little bit in a loop. So here we go. Really nice progression once again. And just like before, when we use our altered dominant chord, we could also easily just use the normal dominant chord. It just sounds a little bit more sad, but it's a nice variation. You could almost even use it to like add an extra step or something like. That's also pretty cool. And as before, we kind of had these options, right? Like this. We can move this note one. Just gets a little bit different flavor. So those three, you already have like different variations that you can put in the progression. Also, if you like grab the MIDI on my website, you can just be like, I remember this dominant altered chord here. I can just also replace it with that. Maybe it's useful to you at a certain point in your tracks. Which brings us to our last progression of the day. You made it all the way to the end. So here we have Illusions by DJ Duff. In my opinion, another absolute banger of a chord progression, which goes more or less like this. Just sounds so nice, right? So let's go right ahead and break it down. In this case, we're actually kind of really staying in a specific key. So we're in the key of C sharp minor, okay? And we're starting out with the C sharp minor 9. Once again, we have somewhat of an inversion and we're doubling the 5 up here, but it's a really cool voicing to start like this, right? And then we're kind of walking down from here. So we're pitching this down by 2 semitones. And in the left hand, we're playing this. Maybe real quick, just the left hand by itself is already kind of sounding cool because we're playing fifths and fourths in a way. So that's kind of all the left hand does. And then something else at the end, which we can take a look at in a second. But as I said, C sharp minor 9, right? Stepping down. Here we have a B minor 11. But obviously, if we are in the key of C sharp minor, we don't have a D in here because that's right next to the C sharp, of course. But that also helps to connect it pretty nicely. So, right, borrowing this D. Going into an A major 9, it's also perfectly in the key. And then we're doing this sussy thing here. And once again, we're borrowing one tone from another scale. The C in this case, right, which is kind of the leading tone, leads us back to our C sharp. That's really normal to use this like instead of like to get somewhat of a dominant vibe to just use the harmonic minor scale, which has this up here. So it would be kind of like. Also mentioned this in other videos. You just take the major 7 to kind of get somewhat of a more of a resolution in the minor scale. Okay, so once again, let's go over this. And then you're doing something which is nice and funky. You just take an octave and the 5 and just walk a little bit, like go from here, down, and back up. Kind of comes delayed a little bit. You play the B first, which is kind of cool, just to switch up the rhythm a little bit, right? Yeah. Sounds really nice on the CP70, which it was played on, I think. And yeah, let me know what you think about this one. I'm not a music theory major or something like this. There are many people out there who know a lot more. So maybe take this as a starting point to do some more research on certain channels. But like I said, you can find all these progressions as bonus progressions in my 2 MIDI packs on my website, Olien's House. The link is in the description. Besides that, I'm looking forward to see you in the next video.